So let me just ask you a question. Who are you when nobody else is around? When nobody wants to applaud you, when no one wants to have an audience for you, who do you look at in the mirror and who do you call yourself? Are you a champion? Are you a winner? Are you a loser? Are you a fraud? Are you who you actually say you are? Are you who people say or think that you are? Not to say that people's opinions really matter, but you have to be able to live true to yourself. I have to think about this because even at my age, even maturing, it's like it's harder for me to figure out who I want to be. Because it's not that who I am now isn't good enough, but for me, I know I can be better. I know I can do better. And that's what we want to talk about, though. It's not about who you are now, but who or do you see yourself being later? You can see yourself being a winner and making a lot of money and being this person and doing these things, but if you don't act as if you are that or have those things now, then when you have those things, or even if you get to that point, then you'll squander it, you'll lose it all. And I see that in myself at times. There are habits inside of me that I still need to get a hold of, that I still need to do better with. That's why it's so important to have that journey. That's why it's so important to have the process and the progress each and every day. Just trying to get a little bit better and focusing on what you can focus on. Doing what you can do to better yourself, because no one else is going to see it. No one else is going to be able to be there for you and help you and change you. All people can do is hold you accountable. And if you think other people's opinions matter more than what your opinion does, then you are gonna be broken later on. Yes, you might see yourself as someone because someone told you this is who you're gonna be and that's what they saw you being. But if you do not look in the mirror each and every day and see that person or working towards that person, then it's gonna be broken down. It's gonna be a facade. It's gonna be a fraud. So you gotta be careful when you are accepting what other people tell you about yourself, or you gotta be careful about what you say about yourself and not live up to it, because it is hard and it's not easy, and a lot of times it's boring because it's repetitive and you don't see any progress day after day after day. And then one day your success happens, one day a big jump happens, but you don't see that because you're just taking the daily steps. You're just taking the one step at a time. You're climbing that long stairwell and it's dark. And you start to see a little bit of light, but then slowly as you get closer and closer, that light becomes bigger. You start to have more vision. You start to have more clarity. You start to go seek other things because now you feel like you have honed in on who you need to be and what you need to be doing. And that's what we're doing. When you're in your 20s, that's what you're trying to figure out. When you're young, that's what you're trying to figure out. When you're in your 30s, 40s, it doesn't even matter what age you are. We still are trying to find ourselves. But it's not through doing other things. It's not through other people, but it's through yourself and doing that soul searching, right? In the Bible, in the Word, right? In chapter, or in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 6, it says that, but when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. What you say and what you do behind closed doors, your integrity, and all that, you will reap what you sow. And a lot of us still make mistakes. I make mistakes, and it's not anyone that sees it but God, and it's between me and God, and all these things, and I'm fighting myself and doing this. Sometimes you just make mistakes and you fall through and you fall short time and time again. But how many times are you going to get back up and go back to God? How many times are you going to get back up, look yourself in the mirror and say that I'm not a loser, I'm not a failure, I just made a mistake, I have to do better now. I can't keep making that same mistake. I have to be better. I have to strive. I have to pray more. I have to seek God more. I have to I have to be in silence more so I can hear the word, or I got to stop being I have to stop being distracted, and I have to stop being confused by these people and these things that I'm seeing every day that's thinking that this is who I'm supposed to be. This is what I want, but it's not. If you try to live a life that you're not supposed to live, you're always going to fall short, and you're never going to fulfill it, because that was never what you were supposed to do. You only get one life. So it's very important to know that what you do now will benefit you in the end, or it will hurt you ultimately in the end. In the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verses 23 and 24, it also says, "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting." Some of us don't want to do the work. Some of us want to do a little bit and expect a lot. Some of us do a lot and then get a little bit and then quit. But if you just do what you are supposed to do, do a lot, do what you can, and then add a little bit more on each time, right? When you feel ready, add a little bit more on. Or if you see a bad habit, work on getting that gone. Because the work that you do now will sustain you later. The work that you do now will ultimately hold you in your discipline later. So like, when you see it and you visualize it, look yourself in the mirror and make a list of all your pros and cons, right? You're thinking of it. You're looking at your pros and you're looking at your cons. If your cons outweigh your pros, you want to work on your cons being over into your pros. If you want to work on your weaknesses, you have to work on weaknesses the same way you work on strengths. You might not have to put as much work in on your strengths, right? But you have to know that you have to put in more work on the weakness. And a lot of times it's our flesh. It's the things that we don't always want, but it's what our body desires. And if we tell ourselves, our minds, we're like, but you don't run this. You have to tell yourself, you don't run this. I know who you are. I know what you want. I know what you want to do. But we need to go here. We need to decide to do this. We need to work for this, because where we're going is not going to do anything for us. Where we're going is ultimately going to have us dead, but we're still going to be alive. And a lot of people are living, but they're actually dead. They've given up. They don't know. They don't have that light. They don't have that spark anymore. They've given up. They look themselves in the mirror and say they're one thing, but deep down they know when they're by themselves and alone, they're not. So who are you whenever times get tough? Who are you when you look in the mirror? If you can look yourself in the mirror and say that, yeah, I am this person. I'm not a fraud. This and that. I do everything I'm supposed to do. This and that. Okay, that's one thing. But if you know that you want to be somebody and you're not that, and you can say in the mirror that I'm not this, but I'm going to work for it, and I'm going to continue to do it, and I'm going to discover something new, and I'm going to keep working and keep striving and keep being disciplined and keep wanting to succeed, that's going to help you. That's going to benefit you. Saying that, God, whatever is inside of me that's not going to work, that's not going to benefit me, take it out. Work on me, work on me, work on me. It's a diamond in the pressure, getting burnt, getting pressed, it's being worked on over time. And sure enough, you gonna shine. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me on this one, man. Make sure you look into the word. Make sure you study on the verses that I talked about, bro. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you like the episode. And of course, I hope y'all catch y'all on the next one.